I thought, though, that I hated work, that I dreaded work, but it's not that.
Is that the transition?
No, don't transition me out of this. I'm going to make a point. I don't hate work. I hate not work.
Welcome back to the Smart Nonsense Podcast, episode 110 few dozen in there. There's a few dozen in there. Pop.
A couple.
What do we talk about? Entrepreneurship, self-development, challenging norms. I got the tea, baby.
I've never seen anything like it. I like it. Oh, I'm peeking. You're peeking.
Are the veins
Matt's
coming out? Who you got in the background, Pop? They can go
you
see
hear
him on
Matt?
YouTube. We can hear Matt, Pop. We can hear Matt.
Yes. Matt's getting off the phone. We had too much tea. We can't start later. We just got to start ripping.
Oh, yeah, you want to have sex later? For sure.
What?
Okay.
It's a
Come
podcast.
on, let her rip.
Keep it serious here.
Keep it classy.
Pop.
Okay.
Pop. You got to go smack that guy right now. I know he can't hear me. I
Hey,
hear your ears.
hey,
It's a
I'm gonna
reason
tell
for
you
people
this
to go
right now.
subscribe.
You tell him to knock on my door. Wake me up on the weekend. One more time, I'll kick your ass.
That's a
I don't
great
care
point.
where you are.
It's not entrepreneurship, self-development, challenging norms, though. So we can't go into it. Pop, I want to talk about dopamine today, Pop. Look at me. I'm a
degenerate.
wreck. I'm a
You.
wreck.
You. Look at me.
Why are you up all night?
I was up till like 6 in the morning.
Doing what?
And then I
Day
woke
to
up
day?
at 10:30 because I had to post our meshes. And I've been up since. I've spent more money than my entire rent for the last 2 months in the last 20 minutes.
What were
I
you
don't
doing
know what's
all night?
happening. Brain blast. Brain blast after brain blast.
Blast.
I don't
Pop,
actually know.
I was just pooping. I scripted this entire podcast in my head on the toilet. It's
We got the worst asp in the game, dude.
Here's the problem, Pop. Here's the problem. Okay.
Teach me.
We're going to talk about My First Million a bit. We're going to talk about Brain Blast in a bit. We're going to talk
My
about
First
Gen
Million.
Z and why they should be here. Pop, dopamine. That is the problem, Pop.
I'm
I'm
cracked out.
shaking. So we were talking yesterday about top level goals, right? It's like that deep work, 2 hours in the morning. If you do this one thing, it's a success.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that 2 days in a row. It's crack. It is crack cocaine. Accomplishing your top level goal. I can't even imagine, Pop. Listen, I'm not even speaking words.
I have a headache.
You're like, what's wrong with this guy?
I need water. Keep talking.
so
I'm listening.
what I'm talking about, Andrew Wilkinson, Pop. He went on the My First Million podcast, and he talked about how he was just going through the motions. He's a big routines guy. He's a big social media, loves Twitter guy. And he was going through the motions. And he realized, like, he woke up one day and nothing was making him happy. It's not like he was depressed. It's just like nothing was making him happy. He was irritable. If his wife got in the way of his routines, like, you know, playing a podcast while he's in the shower, he'd just freak out. I freak out. And he went to the desert. And he went on a dopamine fast and he fixed himself.
The desert fixes all. You don't come out of the desert the same person you went in as. That's the one lesson I've learned. Put me in synthesis school. Get me out of here. Do they teach grammar? How to speak?
No. Physics. Mental models.
So you're telling me you're going to go in the van and go straight to the desert?
No, dude. I'm telling you, I'm so fucked up in the head because work.
You,
us, we,
me,
he, she. I was like, Pop, I was also like this morning, we need to stop talking about ourselves so much on this podcast. But we're just poster children. Just listen, either do what we do or don't. It's bad.
Err on the side of don't, but occasionally do. Dude, I find myself, it's like 4:30 in the morning. I'm like, why can't I sleep? And I'm like, I can't sleep. Maybe I'll just go check Twitter. And I'm like, I'm like, no, that's why I can't sleep. It's the chicken and egg.
Wilkinson's like, he goes on this fast to the desert with his family. They actually went to a cabin, but he's like slapping his leg, like looking for his phone. I'll be like sitting with my family watching our show or something. I'm like tapping my phone, see if I got any notifications. What the fuck? Anyway, my point was, I'm addicted to work.
Oh, like that Hassan show? Remember the Hassan show where we had to lock our phones?
Oh, well, that's so you don't give us jokes away. But his bit, he's like, likes, comments, retweets, give it to me.
Yeah, but that was like because we got to the show like 45 minutes early, and then we had nothing to do the whole time except talk to each other. Because half of us don't speak the same language. It's over.
Literally, Dylan brought a date that does not speak the same language. I'm just kidding. No. She completely does. Very nice woman. So Pop, I think I need to cancel office hours. I need to cancel my scheduled shit. I need to live a more random life. If you get in the way of my routine, if Athena gets in the way of my routine, if my family gets in the way of my routine, I freak the fuck out because I'm addicted to the routine.
Well, that sounds like a different thing than social media, though. I thought routines are good.
It's both. I have a pretty good relationship with social media. No, they're good and bad, Pop. They're good.
I remember I used to freak out on my mom because I'd listen to, I had my routine. I would work out. Then my celebration is take the little photo of my legs and eat breakfast and listen to a podcast. But when I'm listening to the podcast, she wanted to talk to me because that's like the only time she really sees me during the day. I'm like, no, this is podcast time, Mom. I don't talk to you. And she's like, well, when do I talk to you? I'm like, I don't know. I don't have the answer.
I don't know. That's the problem, Pop. And they talk about that is when you stack all the. So what happens tomorrow if I don't do a top level goal for 2 hours? I'm going to be miserable.
I don't get it then. What do you just said it was awesome.
It's good and bad. Pros and cons. Pros and cons, all right?
God damn it.
The fact of the matter is I like you and I like Athena a whole lot more than social media and YouTube and podcasts and my routines. Why do I get so irritable? I haven't left
the house in 2 days.
That's a different problem. What were you actually up all night doing? That's it for routines.
I actually don't know. I really don't. It had to be something important. Had to be. I don't.
Let me hit you with this one, Pop, because I got an agenda.
Yeah, keep rolling.
And by agenda, I mean nonsense, baby. MFM is dope, all right? Go listen to that podcast episode with Andrew Wilkinson. It's great. You should listen to it, Pop.
Are they doing clips still?
Why aren't we doing their clips? You texted me yesterday. I need to hit them up and be like, sorry, Dylan learned communication from a pickup artist. Can we just work together? Because that's where we're at.
Hey, can I tangent this one for a little bit?
Take it, Pop.
Okay. So I'm really embracing this radical honesty thing, right? And so that does it have to do with self-development? Maybe. That girl that went to the theater with us that doesn't really speak English, but she does, but we're joking. So she's I tell that story from yesterday. No, but it feels like that. Where am I tangent?
Pops in love.
No.
The love got to the tangent.
No, so
circle.
The point is me. This is like the first time I've seen someone like multiple times and been like, okay, I'm seeing this person. And now I'm like, okay, I can actually open up about things. But she's like super into like just one-on-one relationships. And oh, Jesus Christ. So I'm like trying to be more honest. I'm like, hey.
You're like, I'm so deep in this tangent now. I just have to finish it.
I'm really deep and I didn't know where it was going to go. So we're just rolling with it. But I'm trying to tell her like, hey, she's like, oh, well, you're in Miami. You just want to go around and have fun. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. But like, I don't know, she's kind of getting jealous. And I'm like, okay, well, the problem is if I leave the house, I want to talk to people. And she's like, what do you mean? Are you some sort of like crazy person? I'm like, if I leave this house, I can't walk down the street without being a cracked out kid that's like, I got to talk to that. And now, oh, Jesus Christ. I tried to tell her this story yesterday, or the day before yesterday, actually. It's been, oh, Jesus. The day before yesterday, I tried to tell her this story. Does that have to do with business? I don't know. But I tried to tell her like, oh, she left on Wednesday. Okay, I forgot she left on Wednesday. But
Pop, can I just say, This is what the people are here for, Pop. Seriously.
that-
Spill
Okay.
the freaking beans.
Okay. Here are the beans.
I'm not even being facetious. Spill the beans, Pop. I'm an addict.
I don't know. This is gonna make me look really bad, but okay.
You're
So I tried to tell her this story. Remember the story I told you after that night when I went and I'm like, yo, what the fuck just happened? The night with Matt, and I went on a date basically. I went on this date. I came back with the girl, and we're like having drinks or whatever. And our friend Matt, he took a bunch of melatonin, and I got back at like past midnight, like 12:30 or something. It's just me and the girl having drinks, but we're making noise, getting the drinks and stuff, and it woke him up. And Henry, you wouldn't be this crazy. You would just stay in your room. You're like, oh, people are home. Let me go back to bed. No, Matt gets out.
Let me give them their space.
He's right outside, so thank God he just left. But he's also he's doing okay, whatever. He comes out and he's shirtless. He's like barely wearing any clothes, and he's just like going around, and he's starting to imply these things. He's like, oh, who are you? And he's like, because she's a cute girl. He's like trying to make jokes about her like staying over, and like, oh, you're gonna stay the night or something. And she's like, maybe. And I'm like, yeah, she's gonna stay on the floor or something, like joking, like trying to not make it fucking weird. He's like, well, if you're staying on the floor, you can stay in my room. I'm like, Matt, don't invite this girl into your room.
You gotta be normal. You gotta be normal.
Basically, he keeps trying to like seed these little like her stay with him or do some threesome shit. I don't know what the fuck's going down. But then she like, you do the courteous offer of like, hey, you're clearly hanging out here for like the last 10 minutes. Okay. It doesn't look like you're going to go back into your room. Let me just do this fake offer of, hey, you want some wine? And then maybe you can join.
It's courteous.
It's courteous. It's like, no, I don't want any wine. You have fun. I'm going back to bed. No,
I was asleep. I'm going back to bed.
It was, did you say wine? Wine glass in hand. He's like, pour me up. So now I'm like, wow, this is really going to go down, huh? So I'm kind of getting like the eyes from the side, like, what the fuck's happening? And Matt's just laying it down. And so after like another 5 minutes, his side of the story is funny. Her side is also obvious, but he's basically like, oh, let me grab my speaker and put on some music. And we're like, dude, it's like almost 1 a.m. What are you doing? We just want to hook up. And so he fucking grabs the speaker, and this girl like hits me on the leg. She's like, fucking do something. I'm like, oh, sorry. It's just me. The whole time it was me trying to deflect. Okay. So basically, and it's funny because Matt's side of the story is like, oh, she's like giving him the fuck me eyes. Like, I'm like, dude, I was on a date with this girl. Like, what are you talking about? Hilarious. Not really, but I basically try to tell this because I'm trying to be open, and I'm like, hey, I am seeing other people to this girl. And she's like, oh, one, the story was bad because I was trying to tell it in Spanish. So like it was bad enough in English. And so it was like really sloppy. And she's like, what the fuck's happening? And she's like, well, when did this happen? And I'm like, I don't know, a couple days ago, maybe like Thursday. She's like, Thursday? Like, I left Wednesday.
Oh, Pop.
And I'm like,
Oh, Pop.
oh, you did leave Wednesday.
That's not dopamine, Pop.
No, dude. It was the anti-dopamine. And so she got really mad, and she's like, I leave, and the next day you're with a girl. And meanwhile, I'm talking to her on the phone, and literally a girl just left. Okay, this makes me sound bad, but like, I'm trying
Pop,
to be really honest, but it's hard, and
Pop.
I don't know where this podcast is going.
Pop, I don't know if Miami can handle you.
No,
I don't know if
so
you
here's
can
what
handle
happened.
Miami, Pop.
And this is me not leaving. I've only talked to like 3 girls here, but when I do, I get really excited.
So now you're on lockdown?
So I'm locking myself down. I basically, but this girl was mad, and she's like, she can't wrap her head around why we're doing this. And so I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. No, I like you a lot. And she's like, you don't invest anything in me. I'm like not seeing other people. And I'm like, yeah, go fucking, I want you to, but if you don't want to, she's like, I'm going to come to Miami to see you for Thanksgiving, but you don't give anything for me. I'm like, okay, that's true. I don't really invest. So this morning I'm like, fuck it. You want to go to Puerto Rico? She's like,
no,
next premium economy. I know. I'm like, it's over, dude. It's so over. We gotta close another 10 for 10. Another couple of them, I think.
Okay, we're going to get back to
the
10
Amex
for 10.
is at 3,500 this morning.
Pop, I was worried.
It's tough.
I was worried about that tangent, but it all makes sense for entrepreneurship, self-development, and challenging norms now.
10 for 10, dude. We need more 10 for 10.
Pop.
My
Pop,
point is this.
You're going to confuse yourself and her in Puerto Rico.
I'm confusing everybody. Confuse, you win. That's how you do it.
Confuse, you win. Build a story
All
brand.
I'm saying is, normally, I don't know what this situation would be.
When do you go?
All I know is it was really nice. November 20th, if you want to meet me there. Really, really nice premium economy.
I was going to say November 28th. I have not heard back from David Sachs, the besties.
20th.
And
Hey, here's what I wanted to say.
Tangent, Pop.
Hey, let's fuck it. Let's tangent, and then maybe we'll circle back. Maybe we'll keep going forward. That was a fucking... Read that message out loud that you sent David Sachs simping all over him. What was that?
God, it's so bad, dude. Okay, I'll read it.
There's going to be a lesson, because this is exactly what you don't want to do. We've said this a million times.
What we've said a million times. To David Sachs. Heard you and the besties throw out the... Sorry. Let me read this like a bot would, because that's what it is. Heard you and the besties throw out this new, uncancelable comedy platform idea. Chamath says he likes Hassan Minhaj a lot. We worked on his Netflix special that he's touring with right now. What do you say about A, at a minimum, you checking out his show with us in SF, November 28th? B, getting all the besties together for the show. We can get backstage to talk to Hassan. Dude! Now read yours.
I can't find it. We text too much. I don't know if you have it, but I can summarize it or paraphrase it.
Pop.
It was basically like, hey, David, heard you and the boys like Hassan. I'm friends with him, worked on his show. You want to see him live in LA. Boom.
If it were easy.
If it were easy. Or you give him plan ABC.
ABC with the parentheticals. Don't do that. Don't do that, Henry.
But this is the shit that we're talking about. Like, even with Chamath, with Sachs, they're responding in these like one word, like boom. Actually, Sachs he'll respond long ass shit. But Chamath just super pithy. Seth Godin the same way. Like, everybody's just, hey, one thing, grammar doesn't matter. I'm like, you got to treat them like that. You're boys. Yeah. You're not trying to do them a proposal. Like, this isn't a pitch for $1 million buyout.
I got confused trying to give him all the context because it's totally out of the blue.
No. Okay. So here's the lesson.
Confuse, you lose.
You know, there's some perks and some downsides, pros and cons to working for a pickup artist. One of them is like, okay, say you want to do something with somebody. You're never going to go and say like, hey, you want to go on a date tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at this mini golf course 3 miles from the city. There's just like too much shit you can object to. And one little no will cancel, it'll override everything. And then like, oh, I can't do it at 7. She can only do it at 8. That means like the whole fucking date is ruined because of that. You'll get a no, it's out. Whereas you baby step it. You're like, hey, heard you like Hassan. You want to see a show? I'm like, yeah, I want to see a show. Okay. When are you free? It's like, oh, I'm free this. Okay. Do you want to bring the besties? It's like, you just take it in pieces. And then if they object to one piece, that's fine. You solve it. But if they object to one thing of many, you don't know what to solve.
Couldn't be more right. I also was just reading about that in this book, The CEO Within. When you're about to give somebody a job offer, they're like a series of like 3 to 5 questions to ask them before giving them the offer to make sure they're going to accept the offer. Because if you lay it out there as a full offer and you don't know if they're going to accept, you're exactly right. If they object to any one part of it, then it has to go back into negotiation. You have to talk about that thing. You have to offer. It's kind of like anchoring.
Right.
You need to like get a yes at each step.
Right.
And I got ghosted. You know who didn't ghost me? Ali Abdaal, Pop.
Fuck yeah. Look at these transitions.
I'm saving one transition for the end of this podcast. People better stick around. I'm not going to Puerto Rico, but I've got a transition. Ali Abdaal, I'm going to make his hit piece today because the squad's going to blitz him. We already made him some clips. We're going to send him a vlog. And the dude messages me first on the day of.
Right.
Sorry,
it's been
I've
weeks
been out.
that he hasn't responded.
Months. It's been 1 month. 1 month and 1 day. I made this video.
I know you counted.
I locked the door, Pop.
Yes, sir.
But the video's funny. It'll come out tomorrow. Basically, at the end of the video, my phone pings, and I'm like, what the fuck? I like haven't even gotten to the pitch. He hits me with the ping, and I do this. It's method acting.
Oh,
method.
That's going to be perfect because that shit's going to drop tomorrow, right?
Yes. I'm just not going to.
So he's going to be like, you fucking turn this around in 12 hours?
Well, it's all tied up because I see his message, in quotes, in the vlog. I say it's October 19th. It's going to be a mind fuck. And I kind of break character in the vlog to be like, wait, what the fuck? Are you the termite, Ali? I thought I was the termite. Pop.
Nice.
When you're talking to these people, Pop, it's important to remember another transition. Always have a partner. We're just
that was the least smooth transition. That was a David Sachs. Hey, where'd your video go? Where'd your video go?
What? Oh, I'm gone? No, I'm here, Pop. Don't worry. I'm 99% uploaded. Don't worry.
Your video has been disabled due to internet quality issues. The video is still recorded. Okay, I didn't want to see you anyway.
I got flyaway hairs everywhere. I'm crazy.
No, you don't want them. Okay,
always
so something about a partner.
A partner. Okay. Let me take the stage.
Yesterday, you texted me. You're like, you had this brilliant idea about partner, and I'm like, just add it to the pod fod, dude. And you're like, I'm not gonna be able to seamlessly fit it into the story. And here you are, seamlessly.
Rich dad, poor dad. Okay, that's the transition. Always have a partner. We don't know how I got here. It doesn't matter. When you're talking to people, when you're in a pitch, when you're in a conversation, when you're communicating with someone like Ali, you always got to you always got to tell him, hey, let me run this by my partner. Let me, I hear everything you're saying. Let me run this by my partner and get you an answer. Your partner can be a fucking cat. It can be Dylan the cat, but you always got to have a partner.
Gatito.
Right? Just give it some space. Let it breathe.
They used to call, I think, what was his name? Like Macri or something? The president of Argentina. They call him a gato, and a gato, like a cat. It's
would you call
you don't
me
want to
the
be
other
a cat.
day a little bookworm?
A little gusanito. a little worm. Yeah. Well, so does this mean that we should do all Zoom calls where I'm not on the call and you're like, yeah, this all sounds great. Let me just run it by my partner, and we're not on the same call.
Well, I mean, that's what I did in this pitch yesterday. I literally don't know if we could service them. I'm like, here's everything we would do.
Read us?
If and only if my partner, the team, signs off on a cat.
No, but you should actually have a human instead of a cat. Actually,
but you
so
don't
this
have
Andrew
to.
Gazdecki dude, he I think he had a tweet about like the biggest dilution event is when you take on a co-founder. And I was like, that's true.
Easy insinuation.
You're fired. No. But I'm like, it's something that like it might scare people away. The thought of like, oh, you have this whole thing and then you like give away half of it or whatever. But I'm like, I can't imagine, because I was trying to think. I'm like, yesterday, if I was on my own, I don't even know what the fuck would happen right now. I wouldn't have made it through July. I'd be dead, back in the crack den. Never would have moved out.
Oh, roll the crack
when
den.
the budget got cut. What?
Roll the crack den.
Roll the crack den, dude. I'm like, how can anyone do this? There's no way. You need a cat, but by cat I mean like a real human being.
You need a cat. This is why Y Combinator almost solely takes on co-founder pairs. They won't take a solo founder. And they'll
how about
push you to get a co-founder.
did you read that article about Devin Finzer? Maybe not. Probably not.
I did.
But I sent you the excerpts. Oh, you read it?
That bitch.
Hell yeah. No, it was a sick article. Or is it the
Opensea.
The Generalist? I think it was the Generalist or something is the name of the website. But great article about Opensea. And that's the NFT platform. It owns 97% of all NFTs. Like it controls 97% of the NFT market. Fucking insane. Like no other monopoly has ever been so big. Like even Google with search is at like 92%. And they're like, I don't know, doing billions in transactions. And it's like $200 million a month that they're making from that. an insane amount
In fees.
But it was,
Yeah, in fees. That's like in
thank
their
you.
pocket. Yeah. Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
They take like a 3% fee or whatever. But Devin Finzer, this guy I met, hey, speaking of dating coaches, I don't know if I'm going to out him, but I kind of met him through that world. And he happens to be the CEO of it. So he's the fucking like crushing it. And this article talked about him and why he's crushing it so much. And it talked about his partner too, his original friend who started Figma. They were both college roommates at Brown. Like they both went to our school, which is cool. And Figma is now like a $10 billion company, probably the same with Opensea in terms of pure valuation. It'll probably go up even more. And it's just crazy. Like that's where they met. They're both fucking super technical, made something super cool. We're not. We're like the Nicki Beat version of that, but still
we just
badass.
have just a different superpower, marketing.
I
God
know.
knows
That's
how.
what I realized.
God knows where it came from, but
Well, last night, Dharmesh was asking, because he wants to start doing Q&As as if he's a real YouTuber and like shooting videos for YouTube. And he's like, yeah, I want to take questions and like you boys have a startup. So if you have any questions, ask away. And I was thinking, I'm like, yo, what questions would I want to ask Dharmesh? And he's the CTO of HubSpot, largest owner. And I'm like, should I ask him something about like technical skills? Like, should we be learning technical skills now or just be doubling down on marketing? Like this is our shit. Videos are shit. We're the best in the world. Like literally Yuri yesterday, I was talking to him. He's that advisor person I keep mentioning. He was like, yo, my girlfriend, their company needs video. And I'm like, oh, well, you want to do like short form videos? Go to my friend Dylan. Like he's literally the best in the world. And he tells me this. He's like, you realize you're actually the best in the world at making viral clips.
that's
I'm
absurd.
And this is like Yuri's the most critical person I know in video. And he's like, hey, you're actually at the point where you're the best in the world. And I'm like, fuck, dude. So
that's
my
nuts.
point
Well,
being
so-
like, this is our superpower. Do we just double down? Like, fuck learning any code at all. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I just think you 10x on this until it's a win, or I don't know. Like I've got this big HTML and JavaScript book I would love to dig into, but just not right now.
Well, that's what's cool. Okay. So Andrew Gazdecki, who I kind of mentioned before, listened to his MFM episode this morning or last night. I don't know. I'm fucking tapped, but he was talking about how he's not technical at all, but he built this $100 million company essentially. And he just found one amazing CTO who just hired a fucking like a hacker house of people in China to just bootstrap it, fucking rip it. And they also got a bunch of other people in like ex-Soviet countries that were just
right.
cheap
I've
labor
told you like
and crushed it.
our superpower is marketing. Yes, clearly to some extent we've grown to 35 people in 4 months, 6 months. There's a superpower there that's managing and coaching. There's no reason we can't bring on somebody technical and work alongside them. It's like just kind of like any other hire, although it's probably way more important. But we're hiring those technical people all the time. They do our animations. Basically,
I just zoned out.
That's the blackout meter.
No, there's another girl in that fucking thing over there. God, this place is so sick. Yeah, this is the ADD, dude. Yeah, so I guess we just fucking keep
10x.
on it, and then eventually some CTO or like some technical person's gonna be like, yo guys, I want to join your shit. Like, what the fuck can I do? And then there's just like, all right, let's rip it with them.
Or it comes through like some of our VC friends, like Mike Maples,
Right.
who's got the network.
Hey, speaking of ghosting, where the fuck is he?
Freaking
Hey,
ghost.
here's what I wanted to mention. Okay.
That's a terrible transition, Pop.
Okay.
Here's what I wanted to
Speaking of
mention.
co-founder cats, here's what I want to talk about.
No. We should
Do we
actually,
need transitions?
Well, I like how the Smartless guys, they all have bye. Ours should just be these absurd transitions that are like not really smooth, but they're transitions.
The clunkiest of transitions.
Just to keep people, you just keep moseying through the conversation.
No, let me mosey you right over to this part of the conversation. Okay. So, in a game, like fucking video games. I love video games. Matt was asking me yesterday. Matt's actually, okay. Hey, let me tangent this again. My brain's going in 40 different directions. I'll probably forget the original point. But Matt, he's fucking spending out the wazoo just to be here. And it's like, Matt, you can't control your income like I can. Like I can make another 10 grand tomorrow if I want to. Yesterday, we had $45,000 come into the bank account from new people. I'm like, fucking nuts. I can do that. That's why I can be crazy and spend $3,500 this morning because like I'll just make it up. And he can't, but he's like, oh, there's so much value in like me being here because he used to play video games all day long and I like wouldn't be productive, and he loves it here. I'm like, that's awesome.
It's fair.
You're learning the video game of life. Like this is my video game now because I'm fucking cracked out. You remember the stories of me. You got the Xbox. I'm up till 6 a.m. in Kevin's room. He gets back. He's like, Dylan, why the fuck are you still here? And I'm playing Fortnite like a savage. I took all that fucking T energy.
You couldn't get the win.
I get the win in business now. And that's what I realized. I told you this yesterday. I was having my doubts. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Why am I here? The problem was I said that on Sunday. Sunday is the dangerous day. Because Saturday is like, okay, I get to rest. It's like the only day off work, really. And I like to have some fun. And then come Sunday, I'm like, this is the second day I haven't been working. I'm losing purpose in life. What the fuck am I doing? And I thought, though, that I hated work, that I dreaded work. But it's not that.
Do I hear a dopamine addiction? Is that the transition?
No, don't transition me out of this. I'm going to make a point. I don't hate work. I hate not work.
31st minute, baby. There it is.
I don't
You're
hate work.
Addict.
I hate not work. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. I love work. I love the XP. I love yesterday getting fucking all these DMs. I love being on my phone and seeing like, oh, you guys are making awesome stuff. I'm like, thank you. It's awesome. It's so cool. That's fucking dope.
You like money in the bank account.
I know. It's fantastic.
Dopamine signals.
Hey, talk about dopamine. Let me look at the bank account. Let me get a hit real quick.
Oh, no.
Oh, did it hit? I don't know. But the point is, it's just a fucking game. These are all Fugazi numbers going in right now. I don't know anything anymore.
Fugazi.
Oh, it's at 116,000, baby. Wow. That's higher than I thought.
Grow up. Speaking of 116,000, first of all, Wano's going to make us bleep that for some reason. Second of all, we are outsourcing our finances. We have a call to do that this afternoon.
Oh my God. That's today?
Yeah.
What time is that? What time is it?
I think in 50 minutes. Hey, don't scare me like that, Pop.
Oh, it's Central Time. I thought it was 2 Eastern.
But hey, at some point, here's the lesson, Gen Z. At some point, you have to recognize you can't do everything. And you can't do everything well. Dylan is cooking the books. You hear that, future investors? Dylan is cooking the books. We're outsourcing our finances. We're getting a CFO.
Yeah. Henry's like, I can't have... I'm like, Belky, all I know, everything in the bank account, we're splitting 50-50, but I'm owed somewhere between $8,000 and $20,000. I don't know how much.
But that's also in addition to like random operating cost. Like, it's very confusing. Clients pay us quarterly. It's very confusing.
The books are so cooked. Yeah, I was going to try and uncook them last night, but then other shit. We got a lot of fucking awesome to-dos.
Pop, you can't uncook the books at 4 a.m. That's how they got cooked in the first place.
We are the viral video guys. That's what Yuri said. There's my
That's your transition?
Te comes a todo lo que se mueve.
It's true. It's true.
You said it's true. No. Okay. It's funny because you say it's true.
I don't hear the Spanish. I don't speak Spanish.
And I just said in Spanish, you eat everything that moves, as in you fuck everything that moves. That's what the girl said to me. And I'm like, no.
It's
my
true.
My notebook's a fucking jambalaya. But yeah, we're the viral video guys. Sorry about
Pop,
that.
You can't have you eat everything. You can't have your diary entries next to we are the viral video gods.
I'm like, I'm going to draw you. Sorry, dude.
When are you going to grow up?
I'm fucking 40. I don't think I ever will. Why? Why grow up? Life's a joke, dude. It's hilarious.
It's
Yesterday.
actually a video game.
Know what's crazy? Yesterday, I was pissed because I woke up to fucking Marina calling me, the host of my Airbnb, and she's like, hey, I got $100 fine. You're going to pay it, and I'm going to kick you out if you do it again. I'm like, bummer. That sucks. But then another 10 minutes later, I check my email, and it's Will Smith saying, hey, you want a boatload of money? I'm like, okay, let's do something together. I'm like, that's fucking sick.
That is actually nuts.
And then this morning, I spend a fuckload, but who knows? We might close another 10 for 10 with these fucking bangers. I'm like, this shit's crazy. What's happening?
Are we... Pop. Are we supposed to be humble?
Yes.
Yes.
You remember I was watching Andrew's fucking podcast, and they're like, yeah, how much did you make from the deal? He's like, I really don't like saying it. Like, I don't know. It just never comes across as like humble or whatever. I feel like I'm bragging. And he's like, well, if you need a number, it's like low 8 figures. And I'm like, no, fuck him. Tell him the number, baby. We're cooking 116. Let's fucking rip it.
Literally just signed into your bank account on live television.
Give me the dopamine. No, I gotta listen to that, I guess.
Dude, it's so much dopamine. Speaking of which, I haven't gotten a hit in a while, so I might need to go get some.
I think I'm stoked about this fucking finances call.
So am I. I think people need to recognize we are 80% joking, 20% this is actually a video game, and we're using humor to try and reason the fuck through it because it makes no sense. And you can really do and be anything you want. Dream, have dopamine, don't be an addict. Smart Nonsense Media for life.
Bye! Quarterloo!
Quarterloo!